Hi, my name is Jamie Takaoka. I use they, he, she pronouns, and this is my poster presentation on discursive constructions of patients and gender in Canadian provincial healthcare guidelines. In the interest of time, I've created a digital companion to this presentation where you can find my key terms, links to the text that I analyzed, and my contact information. Feel free to pause the video at this time to scan the code before proceeding. Trans and non-binary people, or TNB people, face many distress factors when seeking healthcare. Much of this includes discrimination towards patients from healthcare providers. That includes dead naming, misgendering, and other gender-based discrimination. Providers might feel unprepared providing competent care towards trans and non-binary people as well. And this can lead to the TNB community having higher levels of anxiety and facing avoidance of healthcare. Healthcare providers, or HCPs, are often expected to educate themselves on gender-inclusive language, or they expect patients to educate them, which further burdens patients in their experiences with healthcare. There are many guidelines available on gender-inclusive language and how to work with TNB patients, but how consistent are they? Could this potentially cause issues for HCPs seeking out this education? I aim to explore this further with my research. The data that I chose to examine came from 2 Canadian guidelines on gender-neutral language, specifically in healthcare settings. Both of these resources are available online for free and are often cited in digital resource libraries across Canada, such as Rainbow Health Ontario. To access these links, please visit the QR code mentioned earlier on the screen. The first one was created by Transcare BC as a part of British Columbia's Provincial Health and Safety Authority. And the second document was created by Heal All Consulting, an equity, diversity, and inclusion consulting firm run by queer identifying healthcare providers in Toronto. And this is not a part of Public Health Ontario or Rainbow Health Ontario. So the main questions that guided this research are, how do the BC and Ontario documents discursively construct patients through their language, and how similar or different are these constructions? How does the organization of each text inform the construction of gender diversity? And how do the texts shift away from cisgender heteronormative assumptions towards gender inclusivity? This study was informed by critical discourse analysis, which aims to discover how unequal power dynamics embedded within discourse I used a discourse historical approach to CDA, which also assumes that discourse develops around social problems, considering multiple layers of context, such as time period and societal attitudes, to build arguments that are rooted in underlying assumptions of common sense or normativity. I specifically drew on a framework of discursive strategies developed by Blackledge in 2005 to guide this analysis, and this was supported by Van Loven's social actor analysis framework. I found that both documents took a very patient-centered approach to care, which encouraged asking patients what language they prefer to be referred to with and what language, or using the language that they use to describe themselves. They both also employed do and don't charts in the forms of try instead of, or cis heteronormative versus neutralized language. And these charts really illustrated the shift from institutional presumptive gendered language towards more neutral alternatives. The Transcare BC document specifically constructed patients through person-centered language and creating lexical distance from or between the patient and their anatomy or condition. So in the first example, we can see how this is done with person-centered language. And in the second example, we can see how this is done with backgrounding the patient completely, so omitting them and just focusing on the condition or anatomy. In the HEAL consulting document, this constructed patients through the actions of HCPs. And this was mostly done through marked you and your pronouns. So we can see this in the third example, where you and your could be removed from the sentence and it wouldn't change the sense of it, but because the you and your are there, they're very distinct or marked. And this really emphasizes the accountability of healthcare providers in caring for their patients. The study really highlighted the importance of language in health communication. While they did find some inconsistent neutral language suggestions in both guidelines, and these could potentially cause issues for confusion or issues of confusion for healthcare providers seeking this education. This research project was mostly done in support of my thesis research, which focuses on how HCPs outside of gender affirming care use and understand gender inclusive language in their practice. So thank you for watching. I'll be available for discussion online during the April 1st, 1 p.m. poster session. Feel free to reach out via email or social media for any comments or questions. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.